Good morning. Happy Sunday. How are you? I want you to notice this beautiful silk scarf that I have on this morning. This was a gift to me from my uncle. And what I was looking for something that matched the tone of this sweater. That was a gift from my daughter. But I love these stars. They reminded me of those stars we used to get in public school, or the teacher would put them either on our work, on our schoolwork, or we would have this board with all of our names on it. And then when you had these different achievements, you would get this little star. So the Unleash Your Strengths community, learning all about the strengths. Today I am learning all about my achiever superpower. And no surprise, I am committed to working hard and going through. I have great stamina. Fortunately, I also have good health to be able to do that. It helps. But as I was reading about the strength, I realized that one of the things I need to do is to acknowledge my successes. And let's face it, we don't always, especially if we're driven, sometimes we don't always, and there's the sunshine, that's my mother reminding me. So sometimes we don't acknowledge our successes. And for me, that is very important. All these little stars. I am biting off a huge project for March with my team. I'm really looking forward to connecting with the right people. I get to help people move forward in their health using essential oils. That's going to be such a big project, but I know I can do it, and I'm really looking forward to it. And something that I realized this morning is that I'm going to need to be using these little stars. I'm going to need to know that I am getting things done. I've always loved checklists, and I have a package of stars, and I'm going to be adding them into my daily planner. Every time I get something done, there's going to be some stars. So I'm going to have a month full of shining stars, which is going to be really fun. Yes, so believing in myself, I can get more belief in myself when I see what I have done. And as I look at things that I have done, it ties in nicely with this morning's meditation. I got up at 7 this morning, which is a little bit early for a weekend, but I followed my heart. I got up and I came to my room, and I was scrolling through the different meditations that were available, and I found one on a meditation to support achieving things, and it ended up being a whole meditation on intuition and following your heart. And yes. So I started thinking about things that I have done that I have been successful with, that came about because I took a leap of faith, because I followed my intuition. And I want to read a quote that was in the meditation that was really wonderful. Intuition is the decision maker, right? That's what helps me decide what I'm going to do. So intuition is the decision maker. The brain is the executor, the one who gets things done. Both are partners. You need that divine spark. I need that divine spark of intuition to know what I desire, what my heart desires. All of my strengths are fueled by my desires. And my brain and my logic are what's going to help me get those things done. So I started thinking, and my heart says what is best for me, and if I choose to follow it, using all my strengths, that's when I have my success. And I started thinking about all the leaps of faith that I've had in my life. I'd like you to think about, what things have you done that maybe your logical brain said, oh, I don't know, this might not be such a good idea, but your heart yearned for it. Your heart, your spark, something within you cried out to do this one thing. Think about those things that you had, this knowing in your heart, in your gut, that this was something that you needed to do, that your heart was screaming at you, let's do this. And did you do it? And what did you get out of it? And the first thing that popped into my head was my dearest, most amazing, incredible husband. We met, I was 23 years old, and I was raised in a Ukrainian family where my mother especially expected me to marry another Ukrainian who, as I discovered, it wasn't enough to be a Ukrainian, it had to be also in the Ukrainian Greek Orthodox faith. And I thought, oh, as soon as I realized that I was never going to please my mother, I thought, okay, you know what? Let's just follow my heart and see what happens. And I met this incredible man totally by coincidence at his cousin's house, who I worked with his cousin, and we met. And when he called a week after we had met, and my heart went pitter patter, I go, oh boy, oh boy. And we dated. And at the beginning, I told my mother and my parents that we were going on double dates we were just hanging out together. And then I realized that I really needed to be with this man because he made me feel alive. And I took that leap of faith knowing that I might not be doing what my parents wanted. And that was a really big deal for me at that time. And even following through with, I still remember being on a date and saying goodnight in a parking lot. He and his friend, Johnny, had driven together. We met together, and as we were saying goodbye, I thought, okay, are we going to have that first kiss or not? And then I just couldn't help myself. I took that leap of faith, and we shared our first kiss, and I was so glad that I did. But I remember thinking, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, and I followed my heart. And yes, that's a corny example, but for me it was huge. I did not date a lot of guys growing up. And yeah, and then just other things that I have done in my life. I remember being at work. I worked in a stock brokerage in Toronto, surprise, surprise. And there had something had come up in our office, and Ralph's cousin and I worked together, and we wanted to speak to one of the vice presidents of the company about something we were unhappy about. And, you know, we were really scared, really nervous. We were in our 20s, and we took that leap of faith, and we made an appointment with him, and we sat in his office, and we came out with more than what we were expecting to get out of it. And that was wonderful. Leap of faith number 3 that I'm so grateful for is visiting South America with Ralph. We've been to South America a few times. We visited Peru and El Salvador, and the last trip down was Ecuador. And visiting a country, so especially Ecuador, Ralph and I went on a wing and a prayer. I know some Spanish, but we just, and when we travel, we plan the first half and leave the rest to our imagination. Good morning, Daphne. So traveling our holidays. And my leap of faith wasn't so much with the country, but my leap of faith was knowing that Ralph was going to look after me, knowing that I had the skills, the language, that there wouldn't be any barriers, knowing that we were safe. And yes, we did all the research, but it was still a huge leap of faith to go to a completely foreign country, not using a travel agent, just doing things on our own, and totally love that. So my heart has never steered me in a wrong direction. Morning, Daphne. My heart, which is my intuition, has never led me wrong. And I've realized that there's a difference between resistance that comes from maybe not thinking you're capable of doing it. There's 2 different kinds of resistance. There's resistance that comes with, I don't know if I'm ready for this, or I don't know that I have all the tools to do this yet. And that kind of resistance you work on, that's okay. But if there is a resistance from your heart that says this just doesn't feel right, and I would suggest that the more open you are, the more clear you are, the healthier you are, all those things, you hear those messages a lot more clearly. And when my heart says, I don't know about this, that's when I have gotten into trouble or have found myself in situations that I wasn't comfortable with, that weren't for my best interest. So I have learned to find my voice and speak up for myself and know that my heart does not steer me wrong. And I think it's so important. I was listening to Dr. Madej, who's this incredible, morning, Lynn. I was listening to a doctor who was talking about our heart's electromagnetic field. And for most people, we have this 6-foot aura. We can actually measure the energy that's given off by our hearts. And with people who are very open and who do the work and really live in their heart space, that aura can be dozens of feet away. It can be miles away. And I think it's been brought up several times that it's very interesting that 6 feet is the distance that our hearts can throw off this energy, this beautiful healing energy force. And 6 feet is the distance that we're all supposed to keep away from each other. Very interesting. So, yeah, I kind of have a, what do you call that in golf? It's not a handicap, but my aura is a lot bigger than 6 feet, guys. So, whatever. I just wanted to say that following our hearts, having a healthy heart physically, being in tune with our mind, body, spirit is so important, because it will never steer us wrong. The oil that I'm using is Arbor Vitae, which is the Canadian red cedar, and Arbor Vitae is the oil of divine grace. And divine grace is love and our hearts and all of that. So I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful. These guys, these are all aromatherapy bracelets. They're all brand new. They're all going to be given out along with these things as I start my new venture next month with all of my essential oil workshops and classes. I've decided that everything is going to be posted, and this is going to be making it easier for me and for everybody. All of my classes are going to be on my website. I'm going to have, if you just go into classes or workshops or events, I forget what it's called, all of my classes will be there. And and I'm going to be doing that today, and I'll be checking off things. But checking off things, today is, as I said, the last day of February, and all week long we've been having, all month long we've been having the draw for Embrace Your Life Community, which I'm really happy for. Didn't get my 150 new members, and that's okay. I cracked 100. I think we got about 20 new members this month, which makes me very happy. And as I've said, the draw at the end of the month is going to be for the oil of love, of divine love, and that is rose. I have a little rose roller bottle that I'm going to be gifting to somebody. So I'm just going to trust that I will draw the name of the person who really needs it, right? Okay, apparently it's this one. Mary Gilman, who is a dear friend of mine. I love it. Mary Gilman, you're getting a free roller bottle of rose essential oil, which is so beautiful. And because I'm following my heart, I'm also going to draw 3 names for an essential oil aromatherapy bracelet. So this one is, oh, Michelle Smith, who has already won a prize. Love it. I love it when people win twice. And another aromatherapy bracelet is going to, oh, and there are the names, Jennifer Veeder and Dawn Rockall. So congratulations, ladies. I love doing these talks. Well, good morning, Jessica. I love doing these talks because it's one of the things that I've been following my heart to do. It's one of the things that I heard in the meditation this morning that really made sense to me, that really resonated with me, was that when you are doing something that is from the heart, when you are listening to your heart, it is effortless. When you're doing something that you are resisting, not because you're not sure about how to do it or you're a little bit scared, but because your heart isn't quite in it, that's when you should stop and think about things. So doing these daily videos for me, I mean, some people would say, oh my gosh, you know, how do you come up with all the ideas? How do you come up with the topics? It comes from me. I meditate every morning. I have been learning about my strengths and working with those. And I love doing these. I freaking love doing these daily videos. There are a lot of things I love doing, and the things that I love doing are the ones that fill my heart. So find the things. I want you to think about the things that fill your heart, the things that make your heart sing, and think about the things that you have done in your life when you followed your heart and how amazing that felt. And I want you to listen to your heart, and when you hear it singing or when you hear it asking for something, make it happen. Following your heart will never lead you astray, ever. Going down to the city and delivering some groceries to my dad today. And thank you so much. I love you all. Really looking forward to Diamond Club in March. If you can help me get a few of these stars, If you know of anybody who needs a bit of help, I'd love for you to be able to help me connect with them. I have all kinds of incentives for you. I've got bracelets, I've got oils, I've got all those things, but I want you to think from your heart. Do you know of anybody, without you feeling pressured, who would benefit from any of the things that I share? Please let me know, get them in touch with me, and I would love to help. That's what rocks my boat. Okay. Floats my boat, not rocks my boat. All right. I love you all. Have a super, super Sunday. Thank you so much. And congratulations to all the winners. I will be letting everybody know. Let me see what Daphne's saying. Hey, even your actions send out love through these videos. Yes, thank you. Thank you. There'll be more. Have a wonderful Sunday, everybody. Love you. Bye.